Well, welcome back. Time for a look at what new films are hitting the theaters this weekend. We're joined live by film critic Richard Crouse. Rich, it's always good to see you. Let's start with a new strange offering from Marvel.
Yeah, this is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It's in theaters this weekend. Benedict Cumberbatch comes back as Doctor Strange, the surgeon turned superhero, who is also a master of the mystical arts. In this one, he's contending with the multiverse, which he, if you remember, in the Spider-Man No Way Home film, cracked open. And now all sorts of strange things are happening, including he comes in contact with a young woman who is able to jump from multiverse to multiverse, all these alternate realities that are all kind of stacked up on top of one another. She's being chased by a demon who wants her power, and he's trying to protect this young woman. There's a lot more that happens in this movie than that, but I don't want to give away any spoilers. A couple of things, though. If you haven't seen the Spider-Man movie, probably have a look at that, or at least read up and really get ingrained in your head what the multiverse is all about. It would not hurt if you watched the WandaVision television show. But other than that, this is a really trippy, probably the weirdest of all the Marvel movies. It's a really trippy looking thing. Made my eyeballs dance. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars because I liked sitting in front of it, even though it doesn't always completely make sense. It's still a pretty good time at the movies.
Let's. This next one looks sweet. Tell us about Peace by Chocolate.
Well, yeah, any movie called Peace by Chocolate, you know, is going to be kind of cloyingly sweet. This is based on the true story of some Syrian Civil War refugees who are relocated to Antigonish, Nova Scotia. They are trying to assimilate, they're trying to figure out their path forward after leaving their homeland, and they decide to continue the family tradition, which was making chocolate. They'd done it for generations in Syria. They start to do it in Nova Scotia, and it becomes a huge hit. And this is about how the town mostly rallies around them to help them get in business and then stay in business and then celebrate their success afterwards. As I say, based on a true story, this is a feel-good movie that glosses over some of the more downbeat aspects of the story, some of the racism and things that they encountered. But all this movie wants you to do is make you feel better on the way out than you felt on the way in. It's called Peace by Chocolate. It's in theaters right now, and I gave it 3 out of 5 stars.
Rich, I don't know about you, but I'm a huge fan of any film that has something to do with the Second World War. Tell us about Operation Mincemeat.
Yeah, this is a really interesting movie. So it's in theaters now, and you'll have to have a look at it, for it, because it's not playing absolutely everywhere, but it will be absolutely everywhere next week on Netflix. And this is the story of a real-life World War II operation called Operation Mincemeat, which was meant to distract Hitler from the invasion of Sicily by the Allied forces. What they did, and this is kind of the outrageous, stranger than fiction part of the story, is they got a dead body, dressed it up as a British military officer, and then planted false documents on this body that said that the Allies were planning on invading Greece. The plan was that Nazi spies would find this and report back to Hitler. He would put all his resources into protecting or into Greece and leaving the door open to invade Sicily. It's exactly what happened. It's a wild, stranger than fiction story, even more so when you discover that, and we learn this in the film, that Ian Fleming, who created James Bond 007, was one of the architects of this plan. So you've got a really interesting movie, meticulous in its detail about how this was put together. Great performances from Colin Farrell and from Matthew McFadden, who everybody knows now from Succession. I gave it 3.5 stars. In theaters now on Netflix next week.
Rich, we've got a minute left, and I'm curious, this next one stars an incredible actor who's made some pretty forgettable movies over the last couple of years, and I'm wondering if you want to bury this next movie in your memory.
Well, this one is another one of Liam Neeson's more forgettable films. It's called Memory. He plays a lifelong career assassin who is now trying to make up for some of the bad things that he's done by doing the right thing. Trouble is, his memory is fading, and so he's having trouble with the details. And while this movie has some good actors in it, like Liam Neeson, like Guy Pearce, it really is one of the more forgettable action movies to come along in some time. So, called Memory, I give it 2 stars. It's in theaters right now.
Note taken. Thank you so much. You have yourself a good weekend, sir.
You too, Jamie. Thanks.